Hi, all, and welcome to a new episode of Business First with Sonia Aline. I am your host, and today we brought back a guest that we had on a little while ago because she has several new things going on and wanted to talk about what happens when you transition, when you pivot, when you bring on new ideas. And to do that, we have brought back Broadway star, the legendary lady, Brenda Braxton.
Hey, Sonia, how are you?
I'm great, Brenda. Always good to talk to you on and off platforms, right?
Absolutely.
Whenever we're talking, it's a good thing.
Absolutely.
And so, when you on last, we talked a lot about your Broadway career, your acting career. You've done television, and I think the last time you were on, you had just completed a television show that was on Tubi,
hmm
and but since then you started this one. Well, I was going to call it a one woman show, but it's not really. It's a cabaret show.
I
Um,
call it a cabaret talk show.
Cabaret talk show.
Yeah.
And so you've started that, you've done two of those. And so I want to talk about the process that has gone into that. And you've also created a menopause box
Yes.
called Pause.
Yes.
And so also, for you're a lot like me. We have a lot of things going on, and we're used to people telling us like you can only focus on one thing to get that
hmm
one thing right. And so sometimes there are extensions that you just can't sit on, or sometimes there are ideas that you just can't sit on. And so I wanted us to have a conversation for those of us in the audience, or for those listening in the audience who are juggling different things, or have multiple things going on, or have ideas about a number of different projects, and maybe frustrated, or hearing that same thing. Like I've heard that my entire life. Like, Sonia, just focus on one
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And so let's start with the cabaret talk show. You've done two so far,
Yes.
and it's something that you had in your spirit for a very long time to do.
Yeah.
And so you walk us through, like, of course, what it is, but more importantly, like the process for you getting there,
hmm
and the feeling of accomplishment to finally like have something that you've worked on or thought about for so long, but now you have finally the opportunity to execute.
Okay. Well, for one thing, I think I realized that everything happens in its own time. Because I feel like, yes, I've had this idea for a long, long time, but right now seems to be the perfect time to launch it. So, as far as the cabaret talk show, I have been thinking about a cabaret talk show since I can even imagine, because I'm a big fan of Johnny Carson. I'm a big fan of I Love Lucy, who I take my comedy from. You know me. I love that she was a pretty woman who didn't mind being funny and silly and ugly sometimes. So I've always kind of patterned my comedy after her and what's her name, Carol Burnett. So to be able to bring together Johnny Carson, Carol Burnett, and my history in theater and having a cabaret show was a dream come true. But I feel like this was the really true time to do it. I had kind of like a lull in my career as far as television and theater, so it gave me a chance to think more about it. And they always say when you're doing something you love, you never work a day in your life. And now I wake up thinking about my cabaret talk show. Yeah, it's hard because I've got to find guests, got to figure out what I'm going to sing, things like that. But I wake up between that and the pause box, which is my subscription box, my menopause subscription box for women of a certain age. I wake up feeling like, oh, okay, what am I going to do today? Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so excited about it. So you've got to find something that you're excited about, that no matter what people say, you go home and you go, yeah, I'm still going to do it though.
Yeah,
People are
I
like,
know.
I don't know if you should do that. Why would you want to do something? And you go, yeah, I hear you. And you go, I'm still going to do it though.
I
So
know that feeling. I know that feeling.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh, so I want you to take us back to that, to the first night. I know you were really excited. The audience was excited. Um, And I think a lot of it too, we didn't know what to expect, right? So it was the surprise element was great. And
Mhm.
although the audience loved it, and I know you loved it too, you went through it and were just like, well, this can be better and that can be better, and we can do this a little differently. Um, and I know for a lot of us, we will wait until it's perfect before we execute. And so, what would you say to someone who's been, because the experts say that that's a form of procrastination, right?
Absolutely.
Waiting for things to get perfect. What would
Absolutely.
you say to someone who is going, well, it's not quite right yet? Like,
It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. You just have to do it. It might become close to perfect, but you got to do it to see what's going to work and what's not going to work. And that night, my shows, I never script anything. I do a basic kind of outline, but I never script what I'm going to say, what I'm going to ask, any of that. But I like that. I like that kind of excitement. Not everyone can do that, but it's never going to be perfect. And even though I had criticism of that night, you go, okay, this didn't go right. This didn't go right. This went right. Why did this go right? Why did this go wrong? Okay. And then you fix it for the next time. And that's the process. That's how you get to be as close to perfect as possible. Even for the one that we just did, you were there. Mario Cantone was my guest for the evening. And he called to say he couldn't make it because he was stuck in Boston. And literally, I'm heading to the sound check, and he's saying, Brenda, I'm so sorry. I can't make it tonight. He was literally my only talk guest.
yes.
So I had to go, okay, stay calm, figure this out. The evening ended up being a great evening. I hope everyone had a good time. But that's what I mean by nothing. It's never going to be perfect, because I thought I had a perfect evening with Mario Cantone, Sex in the City, and he's hot right now. And when that call came in, I was like, so you just have to do it. You just have to get out there
Yeah.
and not be afraid to make a mistake. Quiet all
Right.
the other people's voices. Listen to your own voice, because other people's voices are wrought with their own fears and their own
Yeah.
insecurities and what they would and wouldn't do. And that's not necessarily what you would do. My whole life has been out on a ledge. I've always been like, I might not have done it when I wanted to do it, but I've always had stuff that people go, really? That's what you're gonna do? That's okay, I'll be there. But so listen to your own voice, not anybody
right.
else's. And
Right.
sometimes people have good criticism, but you have to take it with a grain of salt, as long as you're
Yeah.
focused on what you want to do.
Yeah. That living out on the ledge thing, I think more people want to do it absolutely than can, right? So even the folks who say, I'm not that person, I think for even a percentage of that group, there are those people who that's what they really want to do, right?
Yeah.
Because they know they have all these dreams or they've seen
Yep.
themselves in a different light.
Yeah.
And, you did it at a time when, talking about your career, like the span of your career, you did it at a time when there wasn't a whole lot of technology, right? I mean, today, I was going to say kids, but anybody can see that almost anything is possible, right?
Yeah.
Because social
Yeah.
media presents so many options to you,
Yeah.
right? We were kind of discovering as we went along, we knew what we wanted to do, but there were really no safety nets, right? There were
Oh,
no plan Bs. There were no, like, if you said you wanted to do something, people really couldn't envision
right.
certain things.
Right.
And
Right.
so how do you encourage for those people who need to coach that personality out of them, or that thing out of them?
Yeah.
How do you become a little bit more courageous, a little bit more
Well,
fearless?
the first thing is to know that there are different degrees of it. You know what I mean? For me, my scary threshold is just like, I'm going to do a show. For
Yeah.
someone else, it could just be, I'm going to make a phone call today to someone I might not have made a phone call to before. Or it could be, I'm going to look into, how do I incorporate this business that I've been thinking about? To some people, that's a lot. just to make that phone call or to call. So I remember I called Donald Trump. Did I ever tell you about the time I called
Oh,
Donald Trump?
oh. Why am I why am I feeling faint?
I know, no, this is like, this had to have been,
This
I
is when
want to
people
say,
liked him.
oh, this is when people were like, Donald Trump, yeah, the apprentice, yeah. But I was doing, I think I was doing B. Braxton's or something like that, and I was
All
trying
right.
to research real estate, and I was like, okay, who am I going to call for real estate? Donald Trump. And I literally called his office and I said, "Hi, this is Brenda Braxton calling for Donald Trump." And the secretary was like, "I'm sorry, who is this?" And I said, "Brenda Braxton calling for Donald Trump." And she was like, "What is this in reference to?" I said, "I just wanted to get some information from him." And she was like, "Yeah, he's not available right now." I said, "Okay, okay, I'll call back at another time." And I hung up and I was like, "What the hell did I just do?" But that kind of like spurred me on. That's why I say it's different degrees of going out
Right.
and doing that. For someone else, it, like I said, it could be just, I'm going to figure out the name of my new company. That's going
Right.
on a limb. I'm going to call. I'm going to email Legal Zoom, whatever that is, to find out how to form my corporation. I'm going to call
Right.
so and so to find out how they did it. You know what I mean? So it's different levels of going out on that limb or that
Right.
crazy place that you thought you never could go. So it's taking
Right.
it in small increments,
In small increments,
Yeah.
which is the perfect segue to pause, because I
Mhm.
also watched that as you started taking those steps, right, things just start in motion, right?
Yes.
And so that's another big piece of advice for our listeners. Like, taking that first step means that you can
Absolutely.
take a second step, which means you can take a
Absolutely.
third step and a fourth and a fifth.
Yeah.
And if you don't get scared,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and panic as things are coming together, because sometimes when you take that first step, it's taking you so long to take that first step,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then when you see everything coming together, then you get
Right.
like, oh my gosh,
No.
like, wait a minute, like, wait a minute. It's like, what happens now?
Yes. Yes.
But to keep going,
Yeah.
right? Like, I've sabotaged myself so many times as the things start to happen, and then I get nervous and
Yeah.
then kind of stop.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
yeah, tell us about pause and your process for
Okay.
creating that. And again, what I think is helpful for the audience is that's something that you talked about for a really long time,
Hmm.
but then you took that first step,
Hmm.
and so
And
tell us what
it's
happened.
snowballing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So back when I'm in theater, have been in theater my whole life since 1976. That was my first Broadway show. So I'll be 67 next month. But when I turned 50, I saw that I felt the same. I didn't feel like, oh my God, I'm turning 50. I felt like who I was. But my agent was like, oh, you're 50. Now we've got to send you up for this. And I was like, the industry saw me as something different once I hit that 50 mark. And yeah, there were little things like sometimes I couldn't sleep as well. And, there are little things that do happen when you hit that menopause time. So I was like, okay, all right. No one ever talks about this either. I couldn't talk with my mom because my mom is like 80 years old and she's like, ooh, I think she still thinks I'm a virgin. But that's a whole nother television radio show. But people don't talk about it. They're starting to talk about it now, which is why it's a perfect time for a pause, the menopause box, to be presented. But nobody was talking about it. This is what I'm going to be 67, so this is when I was 50. So I've been talking about, oh, we need something. We need more information. We need to let women know that you don't have to go through this alone, for one thing, that there are things you can do that's not hormone replacement, but there are things that you can do to help yourself be more comfortable with certain issues that we also
Mhm.
won't talk about right now. But
And you also don't fall apart as a woman,
no,
right?
you don't fall apart. You still want to have sex. I'm gonna say it. Okay, I'm gonna say it. You still want to have sex. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, so no one was talking about it. So finally I said, okay. And then the pandemic happened and
Right.
everyone was trying to figure out what am I going to do now? Theater was dead. television, you couldn't go out to auditions, so you couldn't do TV shows. You couldn't, so everything was dead. So I
Yeah.
really started thinking about it. And about 2 years ago, maybe I said, okay, enough. So I incorporated the name. I got you helped me get someone to help me, Shay, to help me with my logo. And when I first saw the logo, like with my colors and everything, it happened like you said. It's like, I think I have to do this now. Now I really have to show up and do this. So now, then I got my boxes. I have my boxes now. I've got my items. And once I made that first phone call, because there was also something that I used called Membracin, I'll give it a little plug, for feminine dryness or whatever. But I made a call to them and said, look, this is what I'm doing. And they were like, whatever you need, whatever you. So that's also what helped me go, okay, I'm on the right track now. Made a couple of other phone calls. They were like, absolutely, absolutely. Here's the wholesale email place. All of that. So the ball started rolling. Then I called all my good girlfriends like Sonia. And I said, okay, well, how are we going to do this? What we going to do? My celebrity friends, they're like, girl, send me that box. Because you know what I mean? So it started to slowly kind of grind. And now I'm like, okay, I am ready to launch this. And I'm praying and hoping that it's received. And I think it will, because there are a lot of women who are going through hell. And it's different for every woman. It's totally different. And it's so funny. I had a male friend who has a friend, a very, very famous friend of his. And I was like, you need to get this to her. And he was like, well, are there really that many women? How is this going to continue? And I was like,
wow.
Are you kidding me? He was like, yeah, because once the first box goes out, then I was like, you know how many millions of women go into menopause on a daily basis? He was like, really? I said, yes.
And continue the process for a period of time. Yeah.
So it's not just information for women who are going through it. It's information
it's
for
their men in their lives. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So you got to take that first step, even if it's just getting a label with your name on it,
And so there are two things that I want to talk about in that process. Even while you're in full execution mode, people can still get in your head if you let them.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like folks can still say, all right, like, congratulations, but like, what are you really going to do with that?
Absolutely.
Right? And you still have to be solid in your feelings about like how you're going to move forward. I remember when you talked about calling Trump, I remember Barbara Cochran had a story like that too, because when she broke up with her partner, he told her, you'd never, like, nothing, you're not going to be anything without me, right? She didn't know anything about real estate. And I know Trump was one of the calls that she had made.
Wow.
But, we all know that she sold her company for like $60 million, right? When she finally sold it. But it's that whole thing too, in comparing you a little bit to Barbara, is as you were building this box, you didn't really know much about the subscription box process either.
I'm still learning. Learning because once I launch, what happens when everyone's like, yes, I want one. And there's like thousands of people. And I'm like, I got 5 more boxes over here. So I'm still learning, fulfillment, this and that. So, but that's why I say you can't wait till it's perfect.
Right.
Because it will come. I know it will come. Because I put together the sample box last night and I was like, oh my God. I showed it to you. I was like, I have something here. I know I have something here. So it's about now still taking those little steps. I weighed it for the first time last night and I was like, I put the tape on that says pause. I was like, oh. It's the little things that add up.
It's those little things. Yeah. And so I want to encourage people that when they, if they have an idea that particularly when it's this thing that, you said you'd wanted to do this since 15
Yeah.
years ago, right?
Yeah.
16 years ago.
Yeah.
And so if you want to do it, even if you don't know how,
Yeah.
if you're feeling that this thing needs to happen, then you, again, to your point, you just have to take that first
Make that
step.
one step. Yes.
I worked with Mr. Graves at Black Enterprise. He knew nothing about publishing
What?
when he started. In fact, he wanted to do a newsletter, and someone said, if you're going to do a newsletter, you might as well do a magazine, right? Like that's what they had told him,
Wow.
and hence the empire was built, right?
Wow.
Something that not only did publishing, it eventually branched into
Yeah.
television.
Yeah.
He's done
Yeah.
events. The company is still he's passed on, and the company is still
Wow.
going. So when you create these things, you don't even know what the impact is
Yeah.
going to be, right? Which is I always feel like a major source of what inspiration is all about,
Yeah.
right? So when you feel that you need to do it, it's so important.
Do it. And give yourself time. Don't don't throw up your hands if you have two people that go, no.
Right.
Give yourself some time. Give yourself at least a year
Yeah.
to really work on it.
Yeah.
And you might not work on it every single day, but give yourself some time, because if you throw up your hands before, they have that it's a cartoon where you see the man digging the tunnel and then he gives up, and you see that he was so
close
to making it, but he gave up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you have to really, really give yourself time and work at it as much as you can, as diligent as you can. Just be diligent, and don't let all the chatter. Because my thing is, if they haven't done anything, who are they to give you any kind of anything?
Yeah.
What are you
It's
doing
so
with
true.
your life? You know what I mean? Everyone can sit back and go, yeah, I don't think you should do that. And my thing is, well, when you did it, how did you do it? How did you make your first million?
Yeah. It's so true. In fact, and you've said this too, like sometimes you may need to limit the amount of people that you tell
Absolutely. I
about.
have a very small tribe, very
Yeah.
small, maybe 5 people.
Yeah.
That I have some that are like, yep, do it, go. They don't care what I'm talking about. They're like, yep, go do it, go do it. And then they have some that are like, I think that's a fabulous idea. Did you think about doing so and so and so and so? And then I do have some that are like, okay, I'll be there, but I don't understand it right now. But I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
But it doesn't matter what anybody says. You just really just have to keep going. Yeah. Talk about the freedom that you have now in terms of creating. And I think a lot of people are frustrated with the job market. There've been a lot of layoffs in the last couple of years. People have talked about, some people say we're going into recession. Some people say it's not a serious recession, but we're going to see continued layoffs. And so as people are stepping into the job into entrepreneurship, right? Yes, there's some fundamental things that you're going to actually have to do to put your business together. But talk about the freedom that you feel not relying on an agent. I mean, I know you still have an agent, but not solely relying on an agent to be able to get you work. The fact that you've been able to create, your cabaret talk show, the fact that you're creating Pause, and what that has done for you creatively, and even we're doing these things to generate revenue, right? The fact that you get to control it.
Yeah. I think I'm blessed because I'm at an age where I get my pension and my Social Security and all of that, so that I know my bills are paid. That's hard if you really don't know where your next paycheck is coming from. So I know that no matter what, I've got a steady income, that my rent is paid, my mortgage is paid, my mom is good because I've been taking care of my mom a bit. That's the main thing that I think a lot of people, but they might not go into the entrepreneurial pool because they really have to get their bills paid. You know what I mean? I think I'm blessed in that sense, but I think if you, I don't want to say budget yourself, but you do have to budget yourself that, okay, all of my bills are paid. Now, how much surplus do I have to
Right.
start my dream. And that's why I say it doesn't have to be a big start. It can be one little thing, like spending maybe $200 to incorporate your business, to
Right.
figure out what, okay, this is the name of it. This is a, then, make sure everything is paid. Then maybe the next month, okay, find someone to help me with the logo, pay that off. So that's two things, and maybe 3 months down the line, then you go, okay, let me get some business cards and that, and writing out a business plan or just your idea of it does not cost any money.
Right.
So if you sit down and just write down or type everything you dream for this business, that
Hmm.
also tells the universe, I'm serious, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And then we don't want to get too ethereal or whatever, but that energy starts other things happening for you as well. You don't have to
Yeah.
start from this big old, ooh, I'm going to put thousands of dollars in it. No, one little thing a week, a month, every 6 weeks or whatever, that gives you the excitement too. I'm telling you, when you see your logo or your
Your
name,
logo. Yeah.
it makes all the difference in the, even if you just go, okay, this month I'm getting some business cards.
Yeah.
Go to
Yeah.
Vistaprint, go to whatever, get you 50 business cards. You don't even gotta hand them out to nobody, but you sit them there and you go, okay,
Yeah.
let me just dream on this. It's
Yeah.
little things that you can do to have that entrepreneurial kind of spirit and to get you going, to get you moving, get you off
Yeah.
the couch.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
The energy thing is very
it's
real. And
very
I
real.
and I
Yeah,
think anyone in the audience who has started something and just like you said, once you keep going, there's something about that
that
energy that
energy.
keeps bringing more information, bringing
Yeah,
more um more
interest.
things, more
Yeah,
interest, all
yeah.
of those things, right? Bringing them to you. And
Yeah.
so,
And the more
yes.
you feel that energy, then the more you want to do. And the more you do, the
Yeah.
more energy comes to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not
It's
it's
really
not
something.
that easy. Trust me.
Right.
I sit up here some nights and I'm like, can I have my gin and tonic and just let me watch TV? I don't want to do nothing else. Just leave me alone. And then the next day I'm like, okay, I'm good. All right.
Yeah.
What should I do
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Let yourself have those moments as well.
Right, right, right.
Don't
And
beat up
but
on
I'm
yourself.
glad you brought that up too, because I think that's important too, because sometimes we can spend a lot of time
Mhm.
um medicating in front of, Netflix. Not
Mhm.
to knock Netflix. I was watching, I watch a ton of movies on Netflix as
Mhm.
well. But yeah, sometimes we can spend way more time making
Too
other
much
people
time.
money,
Yeah,
right?
too much time.
Right.
And if you have
On
to, give yourself a timer because
give
I
yourself a
I
timer.
always do that. Me and those games on my phone, and I'm like, okay, Brenda, I'm gonna give you 20 more minutes. That'll take you to 1:30. You get off
Yeah,
of your phone at 1:30 and go do something productive.
yeah,
Or you sit and you have dinner and you go, okay, I don't feel like doing anything tonight, so I'm giving myself the rest of the night. Tomorrow I'll hit it new.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
But
don't
make
beat
sure you
up on
hit it.
yourself. But
Yes.
make sure you hit it. Yeah,
Yeah,
make sure you
yeah,
hit it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what can we expect from Pause? Is very close to launching the.
Yes.
When can we expect to see some information so that we can order Pause?
Well, it's going to officially launch on my birthday, which is August 7th. I'm doing a pre-launch. I just have, like I said, I have maybe 20 VIP friends that I'm sending it to. Women who are of a certain
Sexy age.
sexy and financial kind of situation. But yeah, it by August 7th, it should be out there. All the information is out there. And I think what I'm going to do is I want to do a welcome box, which you can always get, which will be the most expensive box. And that will be always available. And then I will do a monthly box, which is a smaller box
Okay.
and doesn't have as much stuff in it, but still good stuff for you.
Yeah, yeah. And talk about some of the things that are in the box.
Oh. Well, I mentioned membracing, so that's
Hmm.
in there. I have a fan. I don't have my fan with me because that hot flash thing is like
Right.
it's serious. So let me see. hold please, wait a minute, hold.
And they can't see it, but it's okay.
Here we go. But you'll see it. So you
I'll
see
see it.
and you'll see my fan. There we go.
Oh,
Right?
okay. It's a battery operated fan.
It's you can plug
Yes.
it in. It has paws on it. Can you see that?
Okay. All right.
On it. So it
Okay.
has that. That's what I'm talking about, having your name on stuff. So yeah, so we got
You got
that.
merchandise as well.
Merchandise. And then I have something called Bloat Be Gone to help with
Mhm.
bloating. And every month it'll be something different. But I have Bloat Be Gone. I have something, I can't say it. It says go the F to sleep. So that's going to
Okay.
be right. It's a T. But that's the name of it. Go to sleep, which I've tried and it works. What else do I have? Then I have something from Woo More Play.
Oh, we love Woo More Play.
We love Woo More Play. Woo More Play is a personal, what do we call it, Sonia?
Sexual aids?
Sexual aid, a
or
pleasure
that's a
aid.
pleasure aids? Thank you, pleasure.
A
Yeah,
pleasure
sexual aid
aid.
sounds like like you
Too
need
much.
more help than you need, right?
I know, yeah, no. A sexual pleasure aid.
Pleasure.
Pleasure for women, and something called the love oil, which also helps with
Right.
that situation. Then I also have two chocolates, which is one is a sleep chocolate and one is an energy chocolate.
Okay.
So we have that, and then we have Bossa bars, which are energy kind of like granola bar kind of things, but specifically formulated for different things that women go through at that that stage of life. What else do I have in there? We've got some lavender soap because lavender is just amazing. And then we
Yeah.
have
Really
a
good.
lavender potpourri satchel so that when you open it,
Okay.
you can smell it, and then you can put that in your laundry drawer or whatever.
Okay.
What else?
So it's something. There are things for all of the senses.
For all of the senses. Smell, oh, do we have anything for hearing? No, we don't have anything for hearing, but that's all right.
Okay.
That's okay. Maybe we'll find some music or something. But we also have
But all of the facets that women might be experiencing, right? Whether it's hormonal, whether it's
exactly.
like you said, the hot flash. Well, all of it is hormonal, right? That's the whole point
Yeah, all of it is hormonal,
but
and
it impacts all these different parts of our existence during that
yes.
time.
And what I'm trying to really, really supply is the more natural ways of dealing with it. And I know some of my friends have had to go on hormonal therapy and things like that. But there are some natural ways that can help you with some of the lesser kind of symptoms.
Right.
So we'll have that.
Like helping you sleep or
exactly helping you sleep or more energy or the bloating that you get. I woke up one morning, I went to sleep, I was svelte. And I woke up the next day and I felt like a balloon had just been expanded. It was ugly.
But now you know how to manage it all.
You got to manage it. You got to manage it. And then, of course, we'll have also some doctor's advice and doctor, theories and things like that, information, so that you can ask questions. Because another thing is, so much of the time, women who have gone to doctors, especially, I don't want to say especially male gynecologists, they just play them off. They're like, okay, yeah, you're not feeling that. Okay, all right. That you're just getting older. And it does not have to be because you're getting older or your hormones are changing. There are ways of taking care of yourself so that you can still live a full, comfortable life as a woman of a certain age.
Yes.
So you got to find the other doctors who will be like, okay, well, that's what you're feeling. We'll try this. This is something that's a little natural. Try that, see if it works, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So that's the conversation that's starting right now. I know Oprah is having that conversation.
Right.
Erica Badu, Brooke Shields, and they're starting that conversation.
And so so that's coming.
Yes.
But the cabaret talk show is here. And the next one is going to be
August 1st.
August 1st, which will be your third one.
Yes, at 54 Below.
Yeah. And so what can people expect for that? That's going to be an ongoing, you're also, you become, since we had you on, you became a board member at 54 Below.
Yeah, 54 Below turned into a nonprofit. And so I'm on the board, and they're trying to be more diverse. They're trying to help as far as because sometimes it can be pricey trying to go to see shows, cabaret shows, whatever kind of cabaret shows. So they're trying to subsidize that, being a nonprofit now. So my show is every month, once a month, and each time I have a different special guest. So the first is Seth Rudetsky. Um, you might not know that name, but when we went into the pandemic, the Broadway community was devastated because shows closed, everything just, it was a ghost town. But
Mhm.
Seth and his husband, James, they did something on Zoom when we all found out what Zoom was, called Stars in the House. And he would have different hosts. I hosted it about 20 times, but different hosts with different shows, and they would sing and they would talk and laugh and do reenactments of shows. He had people from Cheers, like the original Cheers folks on. I had BB Newworth on and Anne Ranking before she passed away. God bless her. You know, I had Sonia on, I had you on, and it just, they raised over $1 million for the theater
Wow.
community. And
Wow.
so, and he's a singer. He has books out. He's a pianist, and he does concerts. And so, he and his husband are my next guest. And he loves Dreamgirls. So I did the original Dreamgirls. So every time I see Seth, it's like, let's do this from Dreamgirls. And so we'll probably do some stuff from Dreamgirls. And I think it's going to be a Broadway themed night. So I'll do a couple of songs from other shows like Cats that I did, Dreamgirls, Smokey Joe's Cafe. What was the other one? Yeah, so it should be a fun evening, and we'll sit and
Yeah.
talk and laugh.
Chicago
Chicago, yes,
twice.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I did Velma and Mama on
Yeah.
Broadway. So it should be a fun evening.
Okay. All righty. Well, I'll be there in the front row. So, and for those who don't know, 54 Below is in Midtown Manhattan. It's on 54th Street,
Yes.
and it's a beautiful cabaret
Mhm.
lounge,
Yes.
restaurant,
Mhm.
and every seat in the house is a good
Yeah,
seat.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
not a big
Yeah.
place, but it's comfortable. And like you said, you can see the stage from any place, anywhere you sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for coming back on, Brenda, and sharing
Absolutely.
this next phase of your
Act
journey. We're
two,
all
right?
Act Two.
Yeah,
That's right. Like, yeah, and that was this is really an extension of what you created through Act Two,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I turned 50, it was like, okay, I'm going to just call this my Act Two. And so now I have a company called Act Two Now What? And it's for women of a certain age. And we did a seminar in New York in 2015. And I did one in South Africa too.
Hmm.
So all those women over there are waiting for the pause box as well. So it's
Wow.
it's amazing. And it started from just one little step. And it started
What?
actually from my agent saying, "Well, you are 50 years old." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna."
Right. That's right. So even the insults or the dismissals, or sometimes those, and we've heard those stories, right?
Yeah,
That can be the inspiration to create
absolutely,
something really phenomenal. And
absolutely.
so I forgot about the group in South Africa. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Pause has the opportunity to start an international, global movement, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and so when that's happening, we'll definitely, because it will happen,
Yes.
we'll have you back to talk about that as well.
Oh,
But
yes.
in the meantime, how can people follow you?
Okay, on Instagram and Facebook, I am pause at B Braxton. Yeah, pause. No, pause.
Pause by, is it Pause by
Pause
Group?
by B
Bree Braxton.
Braxton.com.
Okay.
That's it, the website. And
Uh-huh.
Pause by B Braxton is both Instagram and Facebook. And
Okay.
Twitter, you can just put in Brenda Braxton.
Okay. And on TikTok,
TikTok, I am Brenda Braxton.
Brenda Braxton.
I keep changing.
Okay.
I'm still learning that too. That's another thing. Don't let social media stop you either. You know,
Yeah.
you'll figure it out. But social media is the thing now. So
Yeah.
that's
And
where
for those
we
in
go.
New York City or coming to New York City, they can just go on 54below.com
Yes. Yes.
and see when your show and other shows that they may be
Yeah. They've
interested
got great shows.
are, yeah,
And the
are
food
gonna,
is fantastic.
and
I
the food
love
is
it.
really good, and so are the drinks.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yes. Yes. Oh,
Thank you so much, Brenda,
thank you.
for sharing your story. And yeah, we look forward to hearing and seeing the progress.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'd love to come back.
Thank you. And thank you all for listening. We'll be back again next week with another great guest. Take care.